There's so many of us here today. I'm going to just say a blanket welcome. Good morning. Thank you all for coming. I'm so grateful for you all for being here. And we're just going to begin. Everyone is welcome to Art with Liz. I don't care what your skill level is. You're here to have fun and enjoy. We are so thankful to the Hoboken Public Library for allowing us to have these hybrid classes during the time of COVID. It's just exceptional. There's probably no other place on earth where people can really tap into their creative side and do what feels good, even during a period of pandemic when many of us are confined to our homes. All right, it is African American History Month. We are continuing our celebration of the great Black artists who have made the art scene of America the great, famous, extraordinary art scene that it is today. And before we begin, I want to alert people to the fact that it is National Snapshot Library Day. How cool is that? You are so lucky to be here on National Library Snapshot Day. So there may be a photographer who comes in, just be natural, normal. They're going to do some candid shots. We may even get a screenshot of the TV screen so that folks at home may be in the picture as well. However, if you don't want pictures taken of you, say to the photographer, no, thank you. Laura. Okay, so they will be here probably towards the end of class during what is usually our sharing time. So don't sit around worrying about the photographer coming for your Cecil B. DeMille moment. Try and forget that they're even here. All right, so back to what I was saying before. It is African American History Month, and we're going to focus on an artist today that I am just learning about. In fact, I could find not a whole lot of biographical information about her, but as usual in these classes, we are going to start with a little bit of personal background information about her while I show pictures of her work. We'll talk briefly about her work, and then I'm going to put everyone else to work on your own art. So here we go. And any questions about that before we begin? So I'm going to share. I hope is a successful slideshow. I made this slideshow. I hope it works. The artist for today is Torquaise Dyson, forgive me. And most of the information I have about her is from a New York Times article from November 10th, 2022. I'm going to be doing a bit of reading directly from the article because it's the most pertinent information that I could find. And here's the first sentence. Lurking deep within Torquaise Dyson's huge architectural sculptures, two of which form her new exhibition at Pace Gallery in Chelsea, is a secret language of liberation. Dyson, 49, an abstract painter and sculptor, has been on a roll. She's, at the moment, very big in the art world. She's becoming quite famous. She's been garnering attention, winning the Studio Museum in Harlem's Wine Prize in 2019, and her projects are scaling up. They're getting bigger and bigger. They're very exactly designed and fabricated, and her latest sculptures are the biggest she's created yet. And direct quote from the Times, condensed into their uncanny scramble of shapes and geometries is a powerful visual lexicon. A rectangle to Dyson is not just a rectangle. And let me change the picture. This is the part I'm not quite so good with. Okay, there we go. A rectangle is also a reference to the crate in which the enslaved Henry, quotes, Box Brown, shipped himself to abolitionists in Philadelphia from Virginia in 1849. A triangle conjures up the narrow garret in which Harriet Jacobs, the author of Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, hid for 7 years to avoid capture. A curved line evokes the ship's hull in which Anthony Burns, an enslaved man in Virginia, stowed away to Boston in 1854. And this is a quote from Dyson herself coming up. Whoops. Building, finding, adapting, Dyson said, describing how each of these Black Americans took stock of the coercive structures around them and used them to find their way out. That instinct, she said, encapsulated the history of Black liberation work. The thing I know about our liberation practices is that there's a high level of tactics, technique, improvisation, and a relationship to scale and movement. All these things happen simultaneously. And the New York Times then says, her art unfolds in that spirit where plan and intuition converge. Her sculptures require high design and fabrication, but the lines and textures on their surfaces are improvised. So she builds these structures and then she draws and paints right on the surface of them. So looking at them in the slides, it's hard to see that there are beautiful drawings on the surface of the sculptures as well. They're beautifully constructed in and of themselves, but then on the outside of them, she does these drawings. And apparently she does them right as she puts them in place in the galleries and museums where she shows her work. Some of the textures and drawings that she creates look like architectural drawings, but often they're very abstract with layers and drips. And the pieces on the wall are also her works. You can see some of them are very three-dimensional and sculptural as well. They're more like what we call bas-relief. They're flat and hanging on the wall, but they project outwards. She was raised in Chicago, and she's kind of moved around ever since, from Atlanta to Philadelphia to Boston and New York. She calls herself a nomad, but she's now based in Beacon, New York, and I love this. She's built her own sustainable studio, which is powered by solar energy. She's very, very involved with green technology and the green movement, as well as art. And she is an advocate for environmental justice for Black and Brown communities, particularly in the New York area, but all over the world. She uses computerized machinery to cut and shape her materials, and she uses a lot of wood and metal. What else can we see? I love the information that I found about her early childhood. She spent it in Chicago's South Side amongst educators, activists, organizers, and scholars. It was a Black Chicago at its most idyllic and politically conscious. Everybody owned their own house and had huge backyards where they gathered for swimming, dancing, and camping trips. Her father owned a record store, and she says, quote, that he was a total blues head. Her mother, Dee Sonini Madison, co-founded schools in the 1970s with curriculums that focused on the Black diaspora. And Dyson attended them as a child. Quote from her, from Dyson herself, she attended them as a child with dashikis and all the things, end quote. Her mother earned a PhD and became a scholar of performance ethnography at Northwestern University. Her mother's academic work, Dyson said, exemplified the values of detail and rigor. Her family background, as with many people in Black Chicago, started with roots in the Deep South. Her great-grandfather arrived in Chicago after being, quote from Dyson, run out of New Orleans by the KKK, where he had amassed property. His son, her grandfather, was a socialist and a union leader. So this is where she got her ideas about political activism and liberation. She went to high school in North Carolina, where apparently she was very smart, but got terrible grades. She had no interest in higher education, but landed a place at Tougaloo College in Jackson, Mississippi, because a family friend was a dean. In her 5th year at Tougaloo, she signed up for art classes on a whim and discovered that she was a natural, and it hit her like a rocket, she said. It was a whirlwind moment. She got her BFA there and then went on to get another BFA at Virginia Commonwealth University, and then earned her Master's of Fine Art at Yale School of Art to placate her mother. She didn't really want to go there. We get the sense that Turquoise is a bit of a rebel. In 2005, she was living in Atlanta and teaching at Spelman College. And 30 people arrived in her loft in New Orleans, escaping Hurricane Katrina. And this really created a hard shift in her work. And quote from Dyson, it gave her a systemic insight linking race, class, power, infrastructure, ecology, and opened her path. The ideas rushed in. I taught myself how important solar energy was, that we needed to get off the grid. I started teaching myself architecture. If infrastructure was going to fall to Black people, art could imagine ways to, quote unquote, unbuild things. In 2016, in her first solo New York City show, she counted the lynchings listed in Ida B. Wells Barnett's path-breaking 1895 tabulation, the Red Record, and represented them as fields of small circles, borrowing landscape architecture symbol for a tree. Sorry, everyone, I haven't changed the picture in a while. Responding to images of auction blocks and slave castles, she distilled them into jagged geometric shapes. She's really picked up speed now, and in 2019, she had her first major biennial in the United Arab Emirates. And really, her career has grown exponentially since. She's practical too. She's built a solar-powered studio hitched to a pickup truck that she's driven around the South while visiting rural communities with the scholar Danielle Purifoy. And soon she intends to create functional structures in the spirit of her new designs. But already, said Mabel O. Wilson, the architect and Columbia professor, her methods help to catalyze a different way to build that creates spaces of freedom and possibility. She scuba dives and loves the ocean and is concerned with the ecosystem of the sea. She believes that art is a way to activate our senses and help us to organize our world on different scales. We have to make forms that celebrate the possibilities. The way through is trying to make something that you've never seen before. So there's a lot to be said and learned about Turquoise Dyson, and I'm just learning about them. This is one of her mixed media two-dimensional pieces. For the most part, I've been showing her sculpture. You can really see this was a good one to segue from her love of the ocean. You can see this watery effect. Yeah. I love this piece. This is one of her drawings. She primarily works in black and shades of gray. She says that black carries many meanings. And this is she. I guess she's 50, 51 now. The article was written in 2022. She looks what? Formidable. Oh, formidable, you said. Yeah, it's in French. See, and I think the reverse. I think she looks very warm. Isn't that interesting? Yes, you can be warm and formidable at the same time. This is one of her drawings. All right, any thoughts about her work before I start sharing with you what we're going to do today? Louder.
Looks great.
Why?
I'm like, this is a drawing, but it's like a watercolor. That's right. It's like, this is amazing for it to be a drawing.
Well, we can draw with all different kinds of media. I'm guessing she was drawing with ink. So that's where the fluidity comes from. And it does look like a watercolor. You're right. Looks like a Rorschach test, doesn't it? Like one of those things you'd look at in a psychiatrist's office. I love all the movement in this. The darks and lights are really beautiful.
Textures of there. It looks hard and soft.
It does indeed. Looks like the side of a granite wall. Like if you were rock climbing, this would be something you might be looking at. I love the concept between her sculpture, how they represent different aspects of Black containment, African-American containment, being confined in spaces. Apparently she cuts out in these more box-like sculptures, she cuts openings in them, so you get a sense of how constraining and tight the inside space is, inspired by people who literally put themselves inside crates to be shipped from slave states to free states, people who hid in attics in order to escape the brutality of slavery. There's a lot going on in her work. So not only does it, I think, look beautiful, but she's got a very powerful message. And she often builds them right in place. They're designed for specific sites. This is at the Pace Gallery in New York City. All right, so I'm now gonna stop the share unless someone has something specific they want to say about her work. Today, we're going to primarily work with drawing and honing our drawing skills. I have brought in honor of turquoise, a lot of rectangular cubes. And eventually we're going to draw either the still life I've created in the middle of the room, or those of you who are here can go to the back counter and take blocks of wood to create your own little mini still life. There are a lot of people here today though, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. You could maybe every 2 or 3 people could create a mini still life if you want to look at something up close. And those of you at home, you can create your own little mini still life. Look for objects like, I don't know, Kleenex boxes, small rectangular prism objects that you may have around your home to focus on, and books. Books would be great. You could create a mini still life with stacks of books. What you will need for supplies, all you need, paper and a well-sharpened number 2 pencil and an eraser. Those of you who are here today, don't take any wood yet. All I want you to get is paper and pencil. Everything is at the back counter. Those of you who are my more regular students, if you want to use charcoal instead of pencil, there's a box of charcoal there. If you haven't worked with me for very long, I would suggest you just use pencil. If you've had a lot of art instruction with someone else, go for the charcoal. There's also Sharpies. If you're feeling really confident today and you want to draw using marker, do that. We're all going to start out with some right brain drawing exercises for warm up in the beginning. Those of you who don't know what right brain drawing exercises are, what they are, I'm going to explain that momentarily. So all you need now is paper and a well-sharpened pencil, and we're good to go. Those of you who are here, look on the back window ledge counter, and you can find the paper and pencil. Yeah, you're right.
It's just a work in progress that I need to I wanted to see how it was. I'm actually more concerned about proportion and the distance.
This hand feels small.
Actually, in this one, I have a lot.
He was gent. He's a gent.
Look, everybody do their thing.
What about the key? Basically,
How are you?
Not bad.
Glad to see you. And I forgot to mention the fabric on this table is all from Africa in honor of Black History Month. Yeah, that was good. All right, well, people are getting their supplies. Right brain drawing is a drawing technique that's been used for centuries. Art students have been using these techniques, I don't know, ever since I went to art school. So that's way back in medieval times. And it is a way to help you relax and lose your inhibitions about your ability to draw. The first exercise that we're going to do is something called blind contour. It doesn't mean I'm going to blindfold you, but it means you are not going to look at your paper. You are going to draw using one continuous line. You are not going to erase. And you're not going to start till I say go. And you're not going to stop till I say stop. Your drawing won't look like anything. I'm going to tell you that right from the beginning. It's going to look like a mess of scribbles. And that's the whole idea. It is a warm-up, just like if you were warming up for a sports activity, or if you were in yoga class and you were doing warm-up stretches, or a ballet bar. You have to warm up in order to be prepared to do the hard work, or the other work, I should say. I don't want to make you scared about the rest of the class. Oh, Laura, I could actually do a demo for this, but we've set this up for the still life.
Yeah.
So we're not going to do a demo. So Laura now is setting up for the still life. We're going to give her, actually, we don't need to wait for Laura because we're not going to use the still life now. We are going to do a blind contour of our hand. Those of you who are my veteran students, you've done this a million times before. We're not going to look at this now. Nobody's looking at this. Everybody get that? You're going to look at your hand. So whichever hand is your less dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, put your left hand in a comfortable position so that you can see it. You are going to be drawing whatever hand you're looking at. If you're a lefty, you're going to look at your right and draw with your left hand. It's much more interesting to turn it this way so you can see your palm. Just a suggestion. There are way more lines, unless you're really old like me, but there are way more lines in the palm of your hand than in the back of your hand. You're going to locate a spot on your hand and you're going to start drawing. One continuous line. Don't lift your pencil. No erasure. And you're going to do this for a full minute. Don't look at your paper and don't go yet. We're going to time it. In a second. Everybody ready? Looking at your hand. Sorry, Jane, not to be a mean old teacher. I want you to do this. Everybody's going to do this today. Line contour. And begin. Folks at home, don't look at the still life. We're doing a warm-up. Don't look at the paper. Don't look at the paper. Just look at the lines in your hand. Awesome. Take your time. If your drawing looks like a hand, that's not what I want. So don't look at your paper. Minutes. It doesn't feel like a lifetime. Keep going. Get the lines in your hand and just draw. Don't think about it. Just look. Got it. Okay, we're gonna do it again. Look at another part of your hand and draw. Change the position of your hand. Look at another part and begin.
On the same.
On the same, you can draw to the same line. Doesn't matter what's on the paper. I don't care what it looks like. Just draw. Go. Believe it or not, this will help you to relax and lose your inhibition. Gonna look like a lot of chicken scratches. It's okay. Helping you learn how to see. If you're finished, keep going, start again. And this one's done. We're gonna do one more. One more and begin. Keep trying. If it looks silly to you and it makes you laugh, then I'm glad. I've achieved my goal. Don't look at your paper. Look at this. Don't look at this. Just look at your hand. These lines. Keep going. Try not to look at your paper. Good. Yes, keep going. Good. That's good. When you get these little scratchy lines, that's when you're focused and concentrated. Try and lose control. If you don't know what you're doing, that's exactly what I want. And this one is done. All right, if your reaction is to laugh at what you created, this is a good sign. Line contour is a way to get your brain to start looking at what you're seeing and focusing on what's in front of you. Instead of relying on the dictionary we have in our brain of what things look like, it forces our eyes to see what's literally in front of us. And it's a way to warm up, just like the way you warm up for any exercise. All right, I want each of you to find something in your bag or pocket and put it in front of you. And we're going to do a longer blind contour. This will be our last blind contour of that object now, not your hand, but of the object. Try and find an object wrinkle or messy. If you don't have anything like that, take a piece of paper and crumple it up. Wrinkle. There was
Yeah, I got some.
it's a little too flat. Something with a lot of lines. Here, I'm gonna go. Exactly. Not yet. Rather than doing something else first. All right, so this one we're gonna try for 2 minutes. This would be cool. Everybody have something to look at? Gonna be great. This is great. Terrific. The dogs are interesting. Yeah, the same rules apply. You're not looking at. Don't think about the drawing that you're making. Just think about looking at this thing. Okay. Don't lift your pencil, no erasing. Don't start till I say go and don't stop till I say stop. All right, everybody ready? Folks at home, you good? I forget how to put you on view. All right, let's begin. This one's going to be 2 minutes. You thought a minute was a long time? Begin. No cheating. Don't look at your paper. Lauren's here today. All right. Lizzie, E, good morning, everyone. I thought Vanessa was here. Susan. Don't look at your paper. Try not to look at your paper. Pick the object in front of you. Good. Good. And if you think you're done, start again. Keep going. Almost done with this one. That's it. Done. Done. That's it. You think you're done? Start again. Although we are now done. All right. I know you thought that was kind of crazy. Those of you who've never done it before, you think I've completely lost my mind, but I have a hypothesis. Doing this will help you to do the rest of what I'm about to ask you to try and do. So we're now going to, inspired by Barclay's Dyson, look at geometric form and draw. So you can either draw from the still life. You can use, those of you who are here, you can look at the image on the screen and draw from that, or you can draw from light, which I recommend, or you can get wood from the window ledge at the back and build your own mini sculpture. Some of you have brought objects from home that you're creating a sculpture with. You can get objects from your bag and put them together in interesting ways. Although I want you to think about geometric form because of Ms. Dyson and the way she uses it in her work. I would prefer today that you only use black and white. also inspired by turquoise in her work. But I did bring colored media today for those of you who enjoy color. I also brought the African fabric, which obviously has a lot of color in it. So if you want to work with some of that color, you may as well. My suggestion, as with any of our work, start first lightly with a sketch and pencil, and then get darker as you go. I brought charcoal today for those of you who are my veteran students. Charcoal would be a great way to do geometric form, but you can really use shading to model the form of an object. For those of you who are here, I can do a demonstration.
My name is Chip Cooley, John.
I'm sorry. Wait, no. TORKWAS. Wait. You're welcome. So creating rectangular geometric form, look at the way the light fits the object. It's what makes it look three-dimensional. Have to use shading. And if anybody wants my help with that, that's what I'm here for. I will walk around the room, give you tips and advice, but you can choose to ignore me if you want. That's my favorite student. There you go. No, what I'm saying is I offer advice and you see things differently than I do. And after years of studying with professors who it was their way or the highway, I recognize that everybody has a different way of seeing things, and I welcome discussion of your work. If you think I'm seeing it incorrectly, let me know. Kathleen, you were here last week, correct? Kathleen at home?
No.
Oh, so you're brand new.
Yeah, I usually come to the senior center, but I'm out of town. So,
Oh, that's why you look familiar.
yeah.
So how are you doing? Are you alive?
Good.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have enough material to create a small still life? Or
Yes, I'm good.
Good. Folks at
you.
home, you're always welcome to let me know if you need advice. You can put things up on your screen. Will I be able to see at this point, Laura? I think I'll be able to see if you put it up on your screen. This is for the rest of the class now. If you get tired of doing one drawing or you finish a drawing, start a new one. I've never done this before. That just occurred to me. Esty, you're right. Usually I set a time limit. So have at it. That's why I'm suggesting start lightly in pencil first and then add more dark and light or color. Anybody here completely confused? Wow, that's good. Yeah, you got it. The rulers are there for you to use today, obviously with geometric form if you want to be precise. Oh, very good. Notice the lines. Are you okay? Do you need? You need help? No. Oh, we're good. Okay. So, this is a very challenging angle. For this one, yeah. Do the surface that's closest to you first, and then work on move back and stay. Good. Want to roll it? Okay. Start. Interesting, to just work with plain geometric forms. Tend to think of it as kind of boring. Most of us who are abstract artists, we look at geometric form. My book. Really? But there's a lot going on. Last we were doing wood sculpture, yeah. And then they left it. Huh. They didn't do it. Sides. Same. Yeah. It's hard. Never. drawing. Even if you're not attracted to geometric form, this is such a great way to hone your drawing skills. You really learn a lot about how to create three-dimensional form on a flat two-dimensional surface. And I don't care about precision, but if you can see what shadow does, form, how some surfaces are darker than others. That's the whole ball of wax. Right there. We have done classes in perspective drawing, but not gonna do that today. So use the ruler to help you if you want to be really sharp. I don't know if you care. I do not care. I feel this one. Maybe goes where this. Remember, small. Takes not much. And they are the same height.
They are, isn't it? Oh, you're looking.
Should I do it?
This is what I mean.
That's really too challenging. Scientifically, this is impossible. Artistically, you. Okay. Really. Here's another. These lines. We have. This. That will make it receive action for space. And look, three. Got it? I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Starting over.
Oh.
And then she's gonna change it back. And then I'm gonna dump off. You got
Dump
something out of
it
the
too.
window. And then it's.
So you have a challenge. Not only is it 3D, but all this pattern. Want it to look 3D, you're gonna want to work on the shading. So Ian just love art so much, walking around the room. Even if everyone drawing the same things, everybody's personality and style show through. It's just extraordinary and it's so wonderful. That's what makes your work art and not something made by a computer. Yeah. And that's what you should celebrate, not how perfect your drawing is, but how much it's your own. Okay. All the colors are right here. You don't need it? Oh, you don't. If you care, yes, I know. So don't. Feeling like precision. You could break it as you take. If you want to be precise, this, if you like shade, yeah. And then you take a dark underneath.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good. Got it out. Up. Fun. We're drawing geometric form today, John. And I've asked people to mainly use black and white because our artists today portray light and or black. See that, let me show you. I forget your name, ma'am. Oh, Barbara. Barbara. See how you humble that? Yes. When we see our little. They both are the same angle. Of course, this one is gonna be down. Really was. Okay, I'm gonna do how-
Thank you. Oh,
I
yeah,
wanna
sure.
use, you know,
Mhm. Thank you.
even though the each house appears to be much darker than the next one, you also want to try and blend the gradation of gray. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, this surface is bright yellow, but it needs to be closer
Right.
in tone. So at the edge, you might want to do a little bit of blend. Is it the definition is too sharp? It's gonna flatten. Blend it a little bit, it looks pretty good. Everybody at home copacetic? Lizzie, you good? E, you're good? Lauren, are you still with us? Thanks, Lizzie, for letting me know. Susan, are you still here? I can never tell.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, and I forgot to mention, those of you who were here for the Theaster Gates lecture that we had, I got to see him in person. He was at the new museum on the last day of the show with his band. Oh my gosh, and they performed their music. It was just magic. And those of you who don't recognize that name, Theaster Gates is a contemporary of Torquay's Dyson. He is another incredible African-American artist who believes in social activism and community activism. He has transformed Chicago, the neighborhood in Chicago that he grew up in, by buying old buildings, renovating them, and turning them into working art spaces for the people in the neighborhood. And his artwork is made from the construction materials that he gets from renovating the buildings that they buy. They've even converted an old bank into a museum and workspace. Really what? Eileen. Woo.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to learn. That's so cool. Yeah.
No, but is this? Stop.
You can agree. Oh, show me some.
I don't want to touch your drawing.
Do it. Keep touching me.
No. I had a teacher made me cry.
Man, we're doing none of stuff.
They're wonderful. You could do it with the. Very nice. Something that you, something to do as well. What? Oh, yeah. Coming to you very soon. Get lit. Well. Oh. Is it for the block? Oh, okay. Well, these are looking a little flat, but if you blend stumps, will make them look rounded. Oh, really good. This is so good. This is so good. Dark, underneath, dark. You know, just trying to get the angle, yeah. You're doing great. Just need a line. No, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm very interested. But you look like you're traveling. This is not, no, I'm not. Okay, not my. Back in my. So what? Alice, so what? No one's gonna see this ever again. I know. I know, and you've noticed that. And you did it once. Move on to another. On that. Just like when you did in the figure. If you get hung up on the spot, move somewhere else. You can always come back. You can always. Don't you think it's here to see? No, it's. No, it's and it's why I at the certain time. It does not, it does not. And the way you put the shadow is perfect. It should be dark. See, don't, Alice, don't listen to your mind. Let your eyes tell you exactly what you see. You're getting it accurate. Your mind plays tricks on you. And not just with your own brain. It's what it's what the left side of the brain does to the right side of the brain. All right, You were accurate, you were correct. And your brain is telling you you weren't. That's what I'm trying to get you to overcome. This is terrific. You need some shade. This is terrific. You just need some shade. Good, there you go. Okay, on out there. Yeah, I'm not like, so these little.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm kind of like, see, it's not really, yeah, they should be parallel to each other. But I really want to
It's
describe
good,
that
that's
as-
right. One suggestion, I would. Define it, you know, this is- You like it the way it is? Yeah, yeah, Barbie brush. And that's, yeah, solid. Rich. So I should talk about that. Yeah, so but the yellow and brown fabric is called the big brush. The patterns have been stamped on the yellow background. The other fabric is called kente, the brightly colored fabric. Kente is woven by young men using backstrap weave. Now they're letting girls come up with it, but it's primarily young men who do kente weaving. And it's all the fabric that's on that table comes from Ghana. The piece I'm wearing around my neck, indigo, is tie-dye. This is from Nigeria. This is like dark. Where they mean I can do this one. Yeah, the bottom of the blocks. Still angle. Slight angle. Sword. Not to show you. When we did the vanishing line, I mean, that's the way you should have started the decision. But I didn't want to do such. but it does work for what you're trying to do. Yeah. It's terrible. This one. It's the same one. Dead. Now I want more of that. Where's your picture go? Which is your favorite? The one that you actually like better than the other? This. This one, let's talk about. Okay. Yes. Oh, you want to start a new one? Yeah. White, black, let's use sharp. Black. I have more of these. Okay. All right. Third. Well, so that, oh, it's over. Okay. Oh. Actually, Yeah. Oh, it's the old fish. Oh, yeah.
you don't want to.
That's what we said.
No, I know. I like the.
I mean,
Solve the problem. Yeah.
I heard it.
My father said my job is a fighter. Yeah, what I think.
They might find that really love. Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't like the there. Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry, I don't know why I care about that. I will say this, I will trust you people because I do know some people, some artists need quiet in order to work, but if you're talking to each other, that's fine. That's fine.
Well, I used to go this long. Playing here. Yeah.
So this is not. And then the same.
Yeah. I feel like the fact that it wasn't really-
He did the.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Everything leads back.
Don't.
Shane. Maybe what this shows is that doing drawings of geometric forms, you can only do it for an hour. You lose focus. Yeah, no. They're fabulous.
Perfectly.
There. No, they don't.
And like history month, have you ever heard of the Disney Channel controversy that last week was kind of like, oh, there was this show about, there's this show called The Crown Scandal, and they did an episode that they just can't do things that. But still.
We're fabulous. My personal. That all did. Not sure it's not true.
You read Pokemon?
Long time ago, but yeah.
You know, when they say, when they put the final, in the final law, that the animals good, they say that all animals are equal, but they change.
Yeah. Sounds like.
All animals are equal, but some are equal. That's kind of true. Yeah.
Well, there's so much network. That's the most accurate.
Yeah.
Want to know which one's my favorite? Not sure why, but it's better.
Maybe to the right. People are affected.
I also like the dark county.
Well, these are the. these
Yeah.
are the-
I love negatives. Love it. All right, I gotta check on the artists at home. How are my artists at home? We haven't done sharing in a while.
I don't find this easy
That's okay.
and I find it stressful.
Well, no offense, Liz. I've heard you say that before.
Ah,
This is not the first time.
interesting.
Didn't you used to say that about drawing the figure?
Well, figures I'm a little more familiar with. But
Well, yeah, because
because I don't really know what I'm for sure aiming for. Am I supposed to be doing the material too?
no, only if you want to. I want you to
That's
focus.
where I was having trouble with these folds and
Folds you would attack. Everybody listen up for a minute. You don't have to do the material. I thought I made that clear in the beginning. The material's optional, but folds have form, just like the blocks do. And you need to look at the dark and light in the fabric. How is the light hitting the fabric? It's darker inside the fold and brighter and lighter on top, just like Lizzie, just like when I taught you how to draw the nose on the face. It's lighter and brighter on top, darker around the edges where the light isn't hitting it. So try and not think about it as folds in fabric. Try and think of it as solid form and see the dark and light shadows that are at play in making those rolls and folds in the fabric. Does that help?
I'm trying. Now, in the block area,
Yes.
I forgot what you called it. Those blending sticks, like I made out of paper.
Yes.
Are you, would that be good? Because like this, I don't find to be able to get like like with just the pencil, a smooth look like the box looks.
Use your stump. Yep.
Yeah.
Some people call it a stumpy. Some people call it a blending stick. Some people call it a stump. It's
Mm.
probably not politically correct to call it a stump. So call it a blending. I can make that joke. My father was an amputee, so we used to have terrible jokes about
Oh, gee.
his prosthetic leg. But yeah, use the blending tool.
All right.
It's a great tool to use. And one
I
thing,
think on this,
go ahead.
I think because on the Zoom, on the screen, you don't see the textures as well. Because
Probably
is that
not.
material on the bottom box of all the way to the left, the three things that are stacked? The bottom box that has.
Oh, the bottom box is just like a strawberry box. It's made out of very thin.
Because it almost looks like material on the screen.
No, it's
Oh, I see.
one of those fruit
Yeah,
boxes.
carton, the
Yeah.
cardboard kind of whatever.
More like, I don't know, like balsa wood.
Can I show you? what I'm doing?
Absolutely. You've got to activate your screen. I would love to see what you're working on. Oh, Lizzie, fab.
So the blending is where I started thinking maybe.
Lizzie, can you hear everybody's reaction to your work?
No.
Everybody, say it a little louder.
It's gorgeous.
Great, beautiful.
Wow.
So you
It's
may be having
beautiful.
difficulties, but the reaction towards your work is highly positive.
Well, thank
Gorgeous
you.
drawing.
I think if I use that blending stick like on these boxes,
Yes, you want
it'll
to
look
do that.
smooth because that's what the object is. That's what was bugging me, I think.
Use your blending stick. Go for it.
Mm.
You can always, everybody, newsflash, you don't need my permission to use the blending tool. If you have one, use it always. That's
It just
always a
dawned
good
on me.
option in whatever you're drawing.
Mm. All right. Well, at least I kind of think maybe I'm on the right track then.
And the folds in the material, you even are working on the patterning as well.
I was trying. That's where I was really starting to like.
Yeah, that's
lose.
extremely difficult and you've done
Mm.
well. No wonder it's challenging
Ah.
for you.
Well, because I felt like you needed the material to highlight the box.
Well,
The
there you
edges of
go. And Lizzie, taking the more difficult route is the best way to teach yourself to draw because it forces you into using the right side of your brain. The right side of the brain is the visual side of the brain. It's not the literal, it's the visual side of the brain. And the more complex the object is that you're looking at and observing, the more you switch into the visual mode,
Mhm.
and the more it helps you to learn how to draw what you see
Mm.
in front of you. So you have challenged yourself, and the results show that the challenge has paid off. It's a beautiful drawing. You should feel very
A
proud.
little more encouraged.
And here's what I recommend for all of you today. You can do this easily at home. Grab some objects from home and just draw, sit and draw them. Tonight, instead of doing what I always do at like 9 o'clock when I'm completely exhausted, instead of plunking in front of the TV, grab a few objects and some paper and pencil and sit and sketch. It's so relaxing. And if you really want to learn how to draw before you know it, you will be drawing and drawing well. The more you do, the better you get. Those of you who attended Ibu and Doy's workshop the other Friday, he draws and paints constantly. And that's how he improves his skills. I don't say everyone has to do it as much as he does, but
I only draw when I come on your class.
so try and carve out some time during the week. Lizzie, this seems so important to you and it makes you feel so good. Try and find another 30 minutes, say, during the week when you do this for yourself. It's like meditation. It really is. All right. In another 3 minutes, I'm going to invite folks to share. And Laura has started a tradition where she walks around the room with her camera. And if you're willing to allow her to put your work on the big screen so that everyone can see it, we will do that. And today we're going to start with folks at home because we usually do it the other way around. So finish up your drawings, 3 more minutes. Some people are scuttling out early. Please don't, if you don't want to share, you don't have to. So don't leave early just to avoid sharing, please. I know how you think. This is very super.
That one, I got people that are learning to tell me about.
And this is the art. This reminds me.
If you do a cultural band, it's all about bringing in little fighters.
Yeah, no, I like it as pure form. This really has a lot of volume to it. then I love. Cholesterol that I could put there though, but it's enough.
Just.
I don't need more. That piece is good.
That one there. Now you said. Oh, that's when I had to go to 10 minutes. I'm saying, I was a commissioner in the house, so that was called. That's why I'm packing up serious. When you want to do it, you tell me the day you want to do it. That's what I'm going to try. I'll have to find out because I can.
The library.
Are we sharing?
We're gonna, I want to do people at home first.
What you just said? You be able to know.
I said,
All right.
change, we're gonna do people at home first. Okay, so but let's talk about it.
Yes. I mean, for the, I mean, price, you could say I'll do. They don't know his, they don't know
You
his.
probably wouldn't do that, but you probably would do one for. For less.
What's his absolute?
You know, I'm just putting in touch. You can talk to them directly. Love it.
Oh my God.
Thank you. Why, I'm so glad. Okay. Cool. All right, folks at home, who wants to share? E, you're first in my queue. E, you can't get on camera. So frustrating. E, send me a JPEG. Susan, where are you? There you are. Want to share?
Sure. I set up my own still life here.
Nice.
Not finished yet, but it's, of course, being a lefty, I'm smearing down my whole arm, whatever.
It'll wash off.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so I love the rich blacks you have up here. I need more to balance the composition. So
Yes,
more in your right, your bottom right. Underneath this box, this flat rectangular box, I need some darkness underneath.
mm-hmm.
That'll make a beautiful arc to your composition so that the viewer will look at the whole piece.
Okay, will do.
Is
Okay.
that pencil?
Yeah, pencil, all different kinds of B pencils.
Oh, looks
Yeah.
great.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Susan, for sharing. All right, who's next? Seems like folks have had to leave early. Lauren, are you still with us? I was so happy you were here. And Lizzie, you have shared. All right, it looks like people had to leave early. Stephanie was here and is no longer here. Laura, so Laura, you want me to take the camera around? If you're busy, I can do that. Thank you folks at home for sharing. E, we got to figure out how to get you on camera, babe. One day. All right, so we're going to now show work of folks here, if you're willing. If you don't want to have your work on camera, just here's what you can say to Laura. But here's the beauty of sharing your work is you can get advice from others. Here comes Laura. Pente is made in strips and then sewn together. Is that hand loom or hand loom? The young men wear backstrap loom. So it's attached to their back. And frame of the loom is in front of them. And they work the shuttle with their feet out.
That's beautiful.
Look at the beautiful form in this front. Just wonderful. And for me, it reminds me of Miss Dyson's sculpture.
It's gorgeous.
I
Thank you.
love the way you got to
It was just
superimpose
Oh, okay.
drawings on top of each other. Fabulous. Well done.
Thank you.
And Judy, have you ever done this kind of drawing before? Never. So how fantastic is
I'm
this?
telling
So one suggestion, Judy, I would blend this more. So having the dark separate from this is a little confusing. I would make it all one tone. Otherwise, your angles are good. And Mika, I just realized, Mika, you were working on two separate drawings.
Wow. Fantastic.
Mika set up her own still life, the water bottle and blocks and fabric in her glasses and a roll of tape. Well done. So this one is charcoal. This one is pencil. Look at the way she created highlights by using her eraser. I forgot to mention that. You can always take an eraser to erase out of the shadow to make bright highlights. Gorgeous. Thanks for sharing. Eileen. Well done.
Wow.
So Eileen was working hard today to escape her desire for precision. Exactly, that's my problem. Too precise.
you.
This is really, really a fab drawing. This is reminding me of somebody like Louise Bourgeois, somebody that we looked at before. Really well done. Trying to get it exactly. Alice really achieved.
Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful.
Like so much about Alice's work, she doesn't always finish, and that's fine. She works slowly, carefully, at her own pace in order to achieve exactly what she wants. With regard to all these people here. Yeah, well, that's what we're behind you. So, it's a wonderful day. You don't have to share, but it's beautiful. All right, Tracy is a new student in our class. She's now saying she wants to share. Yay, Tracy. Can I share about the fact that you have lost my glasses? So Tracy was faced with vision challenges today, and look how well she did. Hold it up.
Beautiful.
It's really well done.
Yeah.
Thank you. Excellent. And Jane working color. Look at these. Wow. Beautiful color. Wow. This one you started last week.
Yeah.
Beautiful, Jane. Gorgeous.
This is from Pat's little school.
Yes, happy is still like they're
So
sitting.
I was moving on to the box, and it turned out like this was a better subject actually. So I did a set, I started over, but
No, it's a great drawing and your use of color is really rich, rich color. Very nice. Yeah, the orange pops. Oh. And pops. I use watercolor.
Ooh.
Fab.
Wow. Wow. So beautiful.
Achieve brilliant form with color. And it's the same, well, darker on the outer edges. See how bright and light it is on the top and in the middle, and darker around the outer edges. And Margot brought an object.
But it was damaged.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's lovely, Margot.
What about? Oh, we're gonna. Oh, okay. Very
Oh, wow, Robin. Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous.
I love the
Oh,
Very beautiful.
beautiful. Wow.
Thank you very much. And Shirley is our precision person.
Oh, love it, Shirley.
She really succeeded today. Gorgeous.
Beautiful, Shirley.
And the fabric is the fabric here, right? Yeah, Shirley, this piece of headset. Wow.
Oh, wow.
This is fabulous.
Beautiful, Heather. Wow.
All right, this is actually with her sense of humor.
Gnome. I love it. A gnome.
No. I love the red. This was really, really well done, Barbara.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Particularly underneath. Guys, listen up. The dark shadow underneath the object. Do you see it? Yeah.
Mhm.
That is what makes it look 3D. It grounds it in space. And you can't leave that out if you want the image to have form. Even this tiny shadow here is what makes it look three-dimensional. It's a great drawing.
Antonio?
This is audio. Well, I guess those of you want to stick around for Snapchat, they.
Oh, wow. Wow. That is gorgeous, Antonio. Oh my gosh. Beautiful.
Do you know Frank Stella?
No.
The artist Frank Stella.
Wow.
One shade, one side. Hi, guys.
Again, I want to say. Goes through, and that's what makes it beautiful art. really love this one.
Hmm.
And Daniel's drawings are so cool. Daniel worked in beautiful. Wow. That takes guts.
Wow, in marker, wow.
Look at Daniel. Oh. What did he use? Like beautiful. That takes guts. All right, well done, everybody. It's snapshot day, please stay. And have your picture taken. National Snapshot Day, you're helping the library. Show your work. And you can show your work in the snapshot. So it's good PR.
Yeah. Yeah, social media, right, Coco? You wanna, Liz, that's Coco, Coco Liz.
Welcome, Coco. And where's she?
Snapshot Wed.
It's snapshot. I'm gonna say. If you're still here, you're not. Goodbye. Goodbye. It was wonderful. I hope to see you all next week. We will still be celebrating African American History Month. I will be sending out an email as always. Take care, enjoy, and art on. Bye, everybody.